Here is why you should select someone with farm experience to represent you. Industry specific knowledge be very beneficial on your farming operation. Farmers are deeply familiar with what's going on in the agricultural industry. This is why it's very important to use someone with farm experience to represent you with your insurance planning. For example, if you were to call your insurance agency and you say, "Hey, I need to add a John Deere S7 combine," or "Hey, I need to add a row cultivator," or "Hey, I need to add a cutter to my policy." If you're working with a farm insurance agent, they're going to understand what a combine is. They understand what a row cultivator is. They'll understand what a sprayer is. And some of the new things we're seeing are what is a DJI Agris T40 drone, for example. If you're involved in the ag industry, you're going to understand what an ag drone is and what are the key components and what are the biggest risk with these types of equipment. This is why it's very important to use someone with industry specific knowledge to represent you with your insurance planning. Whether it's dealing with crops, livestock, equipment, it's very important to use someone with farm experience to represent you with your insurance planning. When you use someone with farm experience and you're talking about your insurance planning, it's super easy because if you're adding a piece of equipment or if you're adding livestock to your policy or you're adding barns to your policy, someone who actually operates a farm is going to understand different types of tractors. They understand the GPS, the precision planting equipment. They understand livestock. They understand the difference between registered cattle and non-registered cattle and Brangus and Angus and all different types of breeds of cattle and livestock. If you work with someone that understands these things, it's super easy to have the conversation and say, "Hey, here are my pain points. Here's what's going on my farm, and here's what I need help with." And if you're dealing with a farm insurance agent, many times we'll come to the farming operation and see it firsthand. We'll come, shake your hand, meet you face to face, and develop a relationship with you to understand what's going on your farm. And to be honest with you, I love going face to farming operations because I myself as a farmer, I want to see what's going on because I might learn something too going to the farming operations. So there's many times where I get to go to really cool operations that are very unique. Something I've started to see recently is how cool and intricate agritourism can be. I've seen operations of alpacas now, and there's petting zoos and llamas. There's all types of things that farmers are doing to diversify their operation because we do understand right now price per bushel for corn and soybeans are a little low. We understand that it takes things sometimes to diversify your operation, to try new things, and whatever it takes to generate income on the farm. People are getting very creative. So it's cool to go to the farm and see, what are you doing on your farming operation? What are you doing different? And how are you staying profitable or close to profitable to stay in business? An agent that has farm experience and understands the importance of a risk management program. As a farmer, all we do is we measure risk because honestly, if you're in farming and you're in agriculture, you understand risk better than anyone, understanding the risk of weather, understanding the risk of equipment, the risk of storage, barns. We understand the risk of if X happens, here's what happens next. Work with the agent that understands risk management. We can help you come to your farm and help create programs to manage the safety of your employees and the safety of yourself on your operation to help keep your insurance costs down. My job as an insurance advisor is to help you understand ways to shrink the risk so we can go to the underwriters and help them understand, hey, here is XYZ farm. They have this safety program in place. They're doing this for risk management. And there's ways for us to explain those stories to the underwriters to help you get the best placement for your insurance. We work for the farmers, not the insurance companies. We are independent. And so our job is to go to multiple insurance carriers, explain your farm to each insurance company and help paint the best picture to help you lower your insurance premiums so there's more money in your pocket so you can help expand your farm and provide food for our nation. One of the things that I've learned with being a small scale farmer is we are fast problem solvers. And so you can understand working with a farm insurance agent, problems do arise, problems do come up. claim scenarios, coverage issues, things happen. And it's important to use someone with farm experience to understand when problems do arise. We understand your business. We understand your farm. We can step in there and help solve those problems together. We're working on the same team. We're walking alongside you, making sure you're getting the most out of your insurance program as possible. Rather than working with someone with generic advice on your farming operation, I think it's important to work with someone with farm experience who can help tailor your insurance plans just for you. We can come to your farm, sit down with you, get a cup of coffee, and get in side by side and look at your barns, your equipment, your cultivators, your tractors, anything you have. We can sit down and help manage the risk and see what's important to you, what's your biggest risk on your farm, and how can we help protect that risk to help you continue farming. And to be transparent, this is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you money. Working with someone that's going to come to your farm, sit down with you, and explain what's going on your farm and how it can help. Because every farming operation is different. That's what I've seen over the years of doing farm insurance. Every farmer is different. Every operation is different. And not every farmer cares about the same thing that the next door neighbor cares about. So for example, some farmers want to carry more risk when it comes to their equipment because they may have some type of coverage elsewhere through their dealership. They may just need insurance to help cover the high level pain points. Another benefit of working with someone with farm experience to help tailor your insurance planning is you're not going to be over-insured. You're not going to be under-insured because we're going to come to your farm, sit down with you, get in the tractor, get in the side by side, look at your barns, your equipment, look at the livestock and say, hey, we understand the values of what's on the farm, whether it be the square footage for barns or the coverage options for your tractors, whether it's a new tractor or an older tractor. And honestly, as a farmer, I understand a lot of times you can get insurance through the dealership for newer equipment. So some of our farmers carry those insurance policies through the dealership. It's a lot cheaper than going through a generic insurance company. We're here to do what's best for you and your farm and understand what's important to you and help protect what's important on your farming operation, because we understand not everything on the farm needs to be covered all the time. If you have an older tractor, I run an all international 806. I've got old equipment. Not everything on my farm is insured. And so instead of having someone come to your farm and say, hey, you need to cover all these things, you need to do this, I myself am a farmer and I can sit in with you and understand, hey, this is an older tractor. We may not want to put insurance on this because if it burns down to the ground, it's worth a few $1,000s. And so this also helps you with your loss ratio. Insurance looks at your loss ratio each year. And so if you're having claims for these little $2,000 a year here claim and $2,000 claim here and there, it doesn't look good to the insurance companies. And so having someone with industry specific knowledge helping you with your farming insurance can be very beneficial and save you a lot of time and also save you lots of money. One of my favorite things of being in the ag community is the meaningful relationships. I met some amazing farmers over the years who are all doing things differently. Some farmers plant cover crops, some farmers till the soil. Everyone has their different operations, but we all share one common bond, and that's the love and the passion for the outdoors and for agriculture. And so my favorite thing about being in the insurance business is I get to talk to farmers every day and go to their farming operations, sit down with them, see what's going on, get in the side by side, check all the barns out, check out the equipment, the livestock. It's just so cool to get to make new friends and meet new farmers and ranchers because we can all talk that talk for days and hours. I could talk farming for hours without getting tired of it. And if you're involved in the ag industry, you understand this. You also understand the importance of relationships and the importance of a trusted advisor for your insurance planning. A lot of times you get to see your crop insurance agent multiple times a year, but how often are you going to see your property insurance agent, the one that's taking care of your barns, your tractors, your livestock? Because if they're not seeing you at least once a year, I think you're missing out on a great value in building trust and also building a lasting relationship with that person so that they understand the updates that's going on your farming as well, because many years you're going to add barns, you're going to add tractors. And if you're not reviewing these things at least once a year, things can get overlooked. When claim times come, it can be a nightmare. And so we love ag, we love farm and ranch. And I love sitting with my clients once a year to review their coverages, see what's going on the farm, and just keep in touch because things change all the time on the farm. People buy insurance for when their claim times come. Unfortunately, claims do happen. People's barns burn down. I see very common if you're involved in the cotton business, your cotton shippers may go down. And if claim times do come, it is important to work with someone who has farm experience because we're going to understand what happened on the farm, what went down, and how can we best make sure this claim gets closed out. On the agent side, we're not the claims adjusters, but we'd have contact with the adjusters to keep updates and keep you updated on what's going on with the claim. Folks buy insurance for when claims come, they want to have coverage. And so this is why it's very important to check in with your agent multiple times a year, at least one time a year, to make sure that if you're building new things on your farm or adding new equipment or anything, that if something were to happen, you do have coverage. So work with someone that has farm experience would be very beneficial for you because they understand when the claim times come, you can have the proper coverage for your operation. When you're working with a farm insurance agent, they can help streamline the claim process for you. Claims are never fun for the insurance side or the farmer side because it's stressful. You've had a loss. You're possibly losing money. And so when it comes to business interruption or equipment breakdown, or if you lost any livestock or lost a house or a barn or any other structures, it's very important to have an agent walking alongside you during the claim process. For large farm claims, we want to walk alongside you and help streamline the process and assign you a claim number, make sure everything is squared away, and make sure that we can do anything we can help in any kind of way to get this claim closed out so you can keep doing what you do best, and that's providing food for our nation. We talk to a lot of farmers every day, and I've had farmers asking before, hey, I've got this agent and he's a nice guy. He does a really good job for us, but he doesn't really understand farming. Can you help? And so there's nothing wrong with having an agent that doesn't understand farming, but a lot of times you have very specific things that need to be covered on the farm. And if you're working with someone that doesn't have that experience, you may be missing out on a lot of coverage options to protect your farm whenever claims arise. I've had situations where people think their grain is covered and it's actually covered as like a blanket. And a lot of times you can have an agent that does a good job for you, but if they don't understand farming and ranching, you can be missing out on a lot of coverage options that are specific for you. For example, if you're a person that hauls your own equipment, have you ever asked about cargo coverage for what you're hauling? And if you do have cargo coverage, what's the limit for that? Is it 100 grand? Is it 200 grand? This going to also depend. What are you hauling? Are you hauling your tractors? Are you hauling your combine? Because different things you're hauling, of course, have different values. And so it's very important to make sure you have the correct cargo coverage. If you're hauling retail seed, for example, and retail seed and wholesale seed, different pricing. If you need to up your cargo coverage for different things you're hauling, then you need to do that with your agent. And for example, if you're hauling a new combine down the road, how much cargo coverage do you have hauling that combine? If you're hauling a tractor down the road, how much coverage do you have for that tractor? And so it's super important to talk to your agent and have an agent that you trust, that you know that they understand farming and they understand what's going on in the operation, because farming is a very risky business, and it's our job as insurance professionals to make sure we're helping lower that risk and protect that risk. And so if things change on your farm, or give us a call. Our clients here at MFI enjoy working with us because we are farmers. We understand what's going on in your operation. We understand what's going on with the weather. We understand what's going on with the inputs and outputs of farming. And so it's just easy to work with someone that understands the agricultural way of life and understands farming and ranching, because things do happen on the farm and things happen with your employees, with your equipment, with grain storage. And so it's very important to just keep in contact with your agent throughout the year. So make sure of any updates, make sure those things are updated on your policy in case those claims do arise.